All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for registering and joining us this evening. We're going to give it a couple minutes to get everybody into the meeting and ready to go. So if you're here, welcome. Just sit tight. If you have any questions you want to go ahead and ask, you can drop those in the Q&A. But we'll give it a couple more minutes for folks to keep logging in, and then we'll kick things off. All right. If you're just joining us, we're giving it a couple minutes for people to straggle in. I know it's right at dinner time, so we'll get started here shortly, but we're glad that you all are here with us and looking forward to chatting and sharing more behind the scenes of what we've been up to and getting ready for RAGBRAI 52. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you everyone for joining us for our second town hall of the year. We had one just a couple weeks ago at this point, and kicked things off as we got ready for our RAGBRAI route announcement. So we're glad that you all signed up and are joining us this evening. We're going to go through here. We do have Q&A turned on tonight. So if you got here by clicking on a link that someone forwarded you, we are glad you're here. But if you want to be able to submit questions for the Q&A, you do have to register. So there's a QR code up on your screen. Scan that in, or you can go to the Facebook event on our Facebook page and register there. And then if you enter the event with your individual unique link, then you should be able to access the Q&A. We'll be taking a look at those and answering those as we're able to. We are recording this presentation and we'll post it on YouTube later tonight or tomorrow. So if you have friends or family who weren't able to get in or weren't able to tune in and you think something would be great for them to know, you'll be able to pass it on or come back and review information later. We'll get that out here in a bit. So yeah, if you need to register so you can get in the Q&A, you can scan that QR code. But regardless of how you got here, we're glad that you're here. All right, so for those of you that don't know all of us, we'll just kind of go briefly through our team. Tonight we have with us Ann Laurie, who is our cycling director, Matt Phippen, ride director, Hayden Meister, Event Operations Manager, Corey Mutch, our Graphic Designer, Erica Detterman, Registration and Merchandise Manager, and Andrea Parrott, AP, Marketing Manager and Just Go Bike podcast host. In addition to all of our office work and things behind the scenes, everybody is all over the place during the ride. So I'm sure you've seen many of these faces out on route and different events over the year. And I'm Laura Rice, one of our other operation events managers, yeah, here to navigate you all through the evening. Like I said, we're glad that you made it here, whether you heard about us on social, email, or word of mouth. But a good way to stay tuned in to all the news from RAGBRAI is to sign up for our newsletter. You can find that sign up on our website or right here. Once again, you can scan that in if you've got your phone handy and are viewing us on your computer screen and get signed up, and you won't miss a thing. AP puts together great newsletters that have all the news, facts, sales for merchandise, deadlines, all sorts of good stuff. So make sure if you're not already getting our newsletters that you get signed up for those. All right, we're going to turn it over to Erica for a registration update.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Laura. I'll talk about registration really quickly. We wanted to give an update because our next price increase is going to happen at the end of this month. The route was revealed not too long ago, and we know a lot of people wait on the route to go ahead and register. I recommend if you know you want to come, purchase your passes now before that price increase on March 1st, just to get kind of the better deal out of it. One of the other things that's going to happen on March 1st is a slight change in our refund fees. Currently, if you email us and ask for a refund, we give you your money back less our processing fees. That will change on March 1st, and we're going to give you back less 25% of your registration fees. If you have any questions about the refund policy, go ahead and email us at info@ragbrai.com. We're happy to answer all of those. And we're gearing up, getting ready for all of the things for the ride, including mailing those registration packets. If you have moved or updated your address since you've registered, please go ahead and email us as soon as you move so we can get that updated, because this year registration packets will ship to each individual person. In the past, we shipped directly to team captains and they've dispersed that to their team members. This year, we're going to send it directly to you. So that's as important as ever. And we are working on getting our registration merchandise shipped out. So if you have bought in your cycling kit during registration and saved a little bit of money on that, we're going to go ahead and start sending those out next week. If you've changed your address in between registering and now, go ahead and email us and we'll get that updated before we send it out. And those should be to you guys shortly. And then just wanted to give a quick update. We have brand new town merchandise this year at LII Town Tee and then the Tech Tee, which is my personal favorite. And then a couple of our other new items, which are the glasses and all of that stuff we announced at route announcement are also available in our store, which is shop.ragbrai.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Erica. Yeah, everything looks great. And yeah, we got to see it all at route announcement. And there'll be more stuff coming out in the next few months as well. So definitely keep an eye out there. One of the things that we're really excited about this year is our RAGBRAI Gives partnership with Honor Flight. If you didn't hear at our round announcement party or through other social media announcements, we have partnered with Honor Flight to donate all the funds raised through RAGBRAI Gives this year. So those are the donations that you all have made during registration, both as riders and support drivers and general public. And all of those funds are going to be going to hubs that are serving Iowa veterans. The Honor Flight Network is a network of individual chapters around the nation that provide trips to Washington, D.C. They're one-day trips for our veterans, and it allows them to experience the memorials that have been built there in their honor. All of these hubs are volunteer run, so understand it's a big undertaking and a pretty significant cost of fill these flights and get these folks out to DC. So we're really excited that we get to be a part of that and bring awareness to what they're doing, and support their work with the funds that you all are graciously donating. If you want to learn more about Honor Flight Network, they are nationwide. So it's not just an Iowa thing, although we're choosing to focus on the Iowa hubs for this fundraising effort. But if you can find out more about what they do and if there's one near you, they are always looking for volunteers, always looking for donations. And you can hear some of the stories about the impact that the trips have had on veterans, whether World War I, World War II, moving on to Vietnam, and some of our more closer veterans. So we're really excited to be a partner with that. And we do have more info on our website about that, but definitely take a look at that. All right, we're going to turn it over to AP to kind of dive into some of our general things to know. We know there are a lot of new riders or riders thinking about joining us for the first time or coming back after a while. So kind of dive into some of the questions that we've been getting from you all in the Q&A and in our social.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to get a couple slides today, talk with you guys. First of all, I wanted to mention the flight plan, which is our rider timeline that we just published. It's actually, if you download it, it's an actual PDF where you can check the little boxes and track your progress as you get ready for RAGBRAI. It's mostly geared towards newbies, but if you are someone who's ridden it many times and you just sort of want to double check yourself as you get ready for RAGBRAI, it's a good tool for that as well. It has things like when the registration deadlines are and when the town halls are and when the training plan's coming out and things like that. So it's a really nice tool. I guess I said download in the chat on this slide, but we actually don't have a chat today. You can find it in our blog post on ragbrai.com or on Facebook, or I think we may be able to post it in the Q&A section. But if you search for RAGBRAI Rider Timeline 2025, it should come right up. All right, so next topic. Again, this is sort of for newbies. We had a lot of questions about, I registered for RAGBRAI. How the heck do I get to the start or from the finish to the start or the start to the finish? How do I arrange my transportation to and from the ride? First things first, RAGBRAI itself, we at RAGBRAI do not provide any transportation beyond your baggage from the start to the finish. We'll take your 50-pound bag from Orange City all the way to Guttenberg, and you'll get to be able to access it every night, but we don't do anything with vehicles. So Orange City and Guttenberg will both offer long-term parking. They have a nice lot, a good option, especially if you have a way to.
Did we lose her?
We may have lost AP. She was having some issues with internet, so see if we can get her back.
If we can't, I can jump in. So
RAGBRAI committees so far. So you guys got your mic on.
No, we lost you.
You lost me?
We did.
Oh heck. Well, I wonder how much did you hear me say?
Long term.
Oh man. I said it good too. All right, well, let me try this again. The towns will arrange long-term parking for you. That you can be able to secure for a fee. I know that you want to plan your vacation. It's exciting to get all the details in line, but these towns have only had one meeting for their RAGBRAI overnight committees. So you're going to need to give them a couple weeks or maybe even a couple months to have this long-term parking option open up, but it will be available for both Orange City and Guttenberg. So hold your horses, and it's a great option. If you have a way to get from your car to Orange City or from Guttenberg back to your car, from one end of the route to the other. Another great option that would help with this logistics are charter services. We have our charters listed on ragbrai.com, and we update that all the time. So they have a nice lot, a good option, especially if you have a way to from your car to Orange City or from Guttenberg back to your car, from one end of the route to the other. Another great option that would help with this logistics are charter services. We have our charters listed on ragbrai.com, and we update that all the time. So A charter is, I'll talk about what a charter is just a little bit on the next slide, but basically they all offer transportation, or many of them offer transportation options to help you get from, say, if you park your car in Guttenberg, they'll take you out to Orange City. Or if you fly in to, say, Omaha, they might pick you up from Omaha and take you. They have scheduled shuttles running. So we have a special section on the RAGBRAI.com website called Shuttles and Logistics. Believe it or not, that's what it's called. So that tab will have all sorts of information there that you can find as far as who's providing rides from where. Because if you're flying into really any major airport in the Iowa area, there's probably a shuttle from that location. So the charters provide shuttles, and then we have companies that specifically provide shuttles only. So we have all those listed on our website. Another great way to get from the start or finish of RAGBRAI is to recruit your friends or family. It's a super popular way to do that. Obviously, a little cheaper than paying a third party, perhaps. I don't know, I have to always bribe my family with a lot of scotcheroos and other baked goods, but that's up to you. So, and then finally is a brand new option that we're providing this year, which is Mr. Car Shipper. So it's kind of what it sounds like from the name, but basically you park your car and Mr. Car Shipper gets it from Orange City to Guttenberg for you. It's a pretty cool thing. They put it on one of those car movers that you see along the interstate, and they get it straight to Guttenberg, and they have it in sort of a monitored lot waiting for you when you get back, when you ride there. All right, so I said I was going to tell you what a charter is. A charter page is, I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. A charter is one of the ways that people ride RAGBRAI, especially if you're a newbie and you don't know anybody and you want to make sure that you're riding with a built-in set of friends or people who could be supporting you in a variety of ways. They provide these additional support services, as you can see here. A lot of those, like I said, transportation to and from RAGBRAI. Some of them provide daily tent service, like they'll set up your tent for you. A lot of them allow you to bring additional baggage above and beyond what RAGBRAI provides, which is 150-pound bag. Some of them let you bring 2 bags. Some of them let you bring 1 bag, but no weight limit. It's a variety. Other ones have special shower trucks that you can go and use, or designated porta potties so that you don't have to wait in line. Some of them even have meal services. Like I said, you can read the list. It's a lot of different options from a lot of different ones. And we try to give a description of them all on our website. These pages may not be up yet because we're still getting details from these charters. Again, we just announced the route, so everybody's still figuring things out. So if you just give us a little bit of time, we'll get it all locked in. Here, this page is sort of a comparison of what it means to go with a charter or be a registered rider and ride with the RAGBRAI baggage service. I'm not going to go through each and every one of these cells, so maybe take a screenshot if you're interested in comparing the two. Or you can see it again when we upload the presentation to YouTube. But basically, a charter, any of the charters that we recommend as RAGBRAI are available for an additional fee, and they would add services to make RAGBRAI riding a little bit more comfortable, like food and beverage, or like I said, maybe setting up your tent, or just providing some built-in camaraderie if you don't know anybody who's riding on a team this year. So, but you certainly can ride RAGBRAI as a registered rider without being a member of a charter. It's part of your wristband package when you register. It's really a great service. The baggage team does a great job moving bags from place to place, organizing them neatly and everything like that. So it is a great option, and it doesn't cost you anything above and beyond your wristband fee. I will say the one thing I should add to this is that as a registered rider, you get a camping spot in our main campground. We don't have assigned spots, but you're guaranteed to be able to set up your tent in that main campground. And our main campgrounds generally have either access to a shower or a very convenient shuttle to a shower, and they will all have porta potties. So there are amenities there. It's just a little bit rougher compared to something like, say, Pork Valley Ventures, where they would be setting up your tent for you potentially.
All right, thank you, AP. Another great place to find out information about preparing for the ride will be the training plan that'll start rolling out on our website and blog in the next couple of weeks. And going back kind of through some of the Just Go Bike podcast archives, they have a lot of information and interviews with riders and ways to prepare. So go check those out. It's some good listening and, firsthand tips and tricks from people who have done it. All right, we're going to move on to Matt Phippen, ride director, for some route news and more, I'm sure.
Thank you very much. At the end of January, we officially announced the overnight towns. We were very excited. The people that were there were very excited, and looking at social media, it appears to be that everybody else is still very excited. So we're very happy. This route started in September. Started with a paper map on my desk, trying to figure out where we need to go. And then that paper map went to the Iowa DOT to see how it was all going to shake out. Early conversations went really, really well. We found out that there was limited construction projects we were going to be dealing with. And then we started talking through flood implications from last year. One town that we had kind of on the map for this year was removed, and that ended up changing 5 days of a route. So we went from feeling really, really good about how the route was going to play out to then having to make a bunch of changes and pivot. But officially, we are good to go. We have a route across our state, 406 miles and 10,487 feet of climb. So day 0 will take place in Orange City. It's been 8 years since we've been in Orange City. If you look at a map, it's not close to the river. So we will bring the river to you. There's been a lot of questions from newbies. How do we do this? How do we dip? We will work with Orange City to bring the river to you. You can get your tires, and it's usually troughs. I know it's not the same thing, but it's the closest thing we can get to that. We've been looking at ways to get there. The mileage is just too far away, and there's not really a good spot to even get you in. It happened last year too in Glenwood. We were able to get riders to the dip site. It wasn't ideal, but they brought dip site to you just like we're going to do this year. So we will leave Orange City and we'll head to Milford. Super excited about Milford. This will be the first time that they will host. They've been a pass-through in previous years, but they are taking the responsibilities on and hosting riders this year. So that first day, 70.1 miles and a little over 1,500 feet of climb. So fresh legs, longer first day, but you guys can all handle it. Day 2, we will leave from Milford and head to Esterville. It has been a while since we've been in Esterville. I think it's been about 20 years. So shorter day, 44.6 miles, 1,395 feet of climb. This will be a great first day if you are a newbie looking at a day to do, because it is a shorter distance. And we have some really cool things planned for you that we will announce down the road when we officially announce the rest of the route. Day 3, Esterville to Forest City. It's been 11 years since we've been in Forest City, 74.1 miles and a little over 1,300 feet of climb. Day 4 will take you from Forest City to Iowa Falls. Iowa Falls hosted 4 years ago. So they are ready to host again. It's all fresh in their minds. So they'll be able to knock it out of the park pretty quick. That's 68.3 miles and a little over 1,400 feet. I'm kind of eyeing right now day 3 or day 4 for Century Loop. That'll obviously come out later, but we're looking at kind of the roads and where we can do a good loop for you guys on day 3 or day 4. Day 5, Iowa Falls to Cedar Falls. Last time we were in Cedar Falls was 10 years ago. A 50-mile day, 1,262 feet of climb. Should be another easy day for you early riders that are new to the game. Day 6, Cedar Falls to Owine. This day kind of has a special spot in my heart. I found Owine RAGBRAI in 1990. So that was my first taste of RAGBRAI. And then 23 years later, we're going to go back and host again. So, it's Owine is my hometown, 38.2 miles. So it's a very, very short day. So an easy day for everybody and 1,200 feet of climb. And then the last day, we will leave Owine and head towards Guttenberg. It's been 11 years since we've been in Guttenberg, 61.2 miles. And this is the highest elevation with 2,341 feet of climb. The good news is the majority of the climb comes at the last 15 miles. So it's all waiting for you at the end, but the downhill into Guttenberg will truly be worth it. So 406 miles, 10,487 feet of climb, The average distance per day is a little over 58 miles, and the average elevation is about 1,500 miles. So that is the route. Our route every day opens at 6 a.m., closes at 6 p.m., so it gives you 12 hours to do the 70, the 49, the 38 miles to get in. And each town along the way will have shutdown times to keep you moving forward. So you'll see a state patrol presence show up and keep advancing the ride. So the goal will be to get up early, get your miles in, and then be ready to have a good time in the overnight that night. We will announce the full route on April 3rd. So be looking for that. As of right now, we started our travel this week. So Ann and I were across the state. This is our first time. We will travel roughly about 20 times and ride it once on bicycles. This will be I think my 6th trip across the state already. So we're rocking and rolling. Towns are very excited. They're in a really, really good spot. So we look forward to sharing more as we learn more with them. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Matt. All right, we're gonna go into some of our questions that we got. I think we've talked on it briefly, but I know there's a lot of questions about logistics, so we're kind of going to focus on that. So some of these may be in the chat already, but we'll kind of go back into them again. So when will week-long parking for the start and end towns be released?
I'll answer that one. So they are working on identifying those lots right now as start and end towns. So you'll likely see those earliest, probably beginning of April. If they can do it sooner, they'll obviously do it sooner, but April is kind of the timeline. And if we can get it in March, we'll get them up and open in March. But each town is working really hard right now, Orange City and Guttenberg, trying to figure out where those spots are going to be.
All right. Next, kind of similar to that, how far ahead should reservations be made for lodging, parking, etc.?
I would say as soon as you know you're coming, I'd get working on it. Obviously the towns their heads are spinning right now trying to get their life figured out. So if you can hold on calling towns until we know that they're in a really, really good spot. They're not ready for your phone calls. Obviously, please be patient. But yeah, as soon as you know, I would start punching the ticket.
I would also add most towns, if you go to their Facebook pages or to their city pages, they will have forms. So they have kind of a general catch-all form. So if you are interested in information about one of those towns, you'll be able to find it. Easiest spot would be to go to their Facebook pages. And most of the time you can search Orange City RAGBRAI, Milford RAGBRAI, you'll be able to find it. There are a couple towns that don't have Facebook pages yet, but most of them do. So I would, if you haven't already, start following them. That's where you're going to be able to stay up to date. And then obviously on our website, we'll have links off to those town pages and those town websites when those are up and running.
Let's see here. Ride logistics. And this is a great practical question. Where can you refill water and go to the bathroom while on the ride?
Oh God, I would love that one. Well, they're cornfields. You can definitely hop in a cornfield. There are also blue porta potties in the towns, but the way we'll set up towns, usually as you roll into a new town, there'll be a water hookup that you'll see on the side of the road. You can fill water bottles. Make sure you do that when you get to town. And if for some reason you forget, there's usually one when you're leaving town too. They're usually on the left-hand side of the road. One thing we've challenged towns with, basically from last year is put signs up high so you can kind of see it, because it can kind of get lost in the shuffle because they are low to the ground, because it's usually running out of a fountain. But yes, there will be plenty of cornfields along the way if you're in the middle of the town that you need to use the restroom, but otherwise find those blue porta potties. Just don't fall in.
What are the different types of places that you can stay on the ride? Do I have to camp?
No, you don't have to camp. We are a camping event and we do scout, green spaces for you to pop up your tent. RAGBRAI is kind of whatever you want it to be. The majority of the hotels are already gone, so if you prefer that air conditioned stay, chances are you're not gonna be able to find it if you haven't already booked something. There are homestays too, so if you need access to an indoor shower, indoor restroom or the indoor beer fridge, they'll be available too. The towns are working on, finding placements, so, each town will reach out to their community and see who wants to host riders. They will not be able to place everybody. They'll do their best and work hard to get you placed. But that will kind of be a connection that you guys can make after the fact once they've kind of reached out. With that too, a lot of those residents come in late because they're trying to figure out their own lives, whether they're gonna be around or not. So please have patience with that, but there is that ability to have that homestay, and then the charter would be an option too, where you can actually, have a tent and they'll tear it up and set it up, set it up for you too. So definitely a service that is available.
And I know this was in the chat, but just for folks who might not be looking to the chat, if someone is looking to rent a bike, do we have a bike partner, and how would they go about finding a rental bike for the week?
We do. We are working with Unlimited Biking again this year. They serviced their ride for the first time last year. They'll have several different options of bikes for you. I know one of the questions in the chat was a tandem. Those will be available. We're working with them right now to get their RAGBRAI page up and running. And so as soon as it is, you'll be able to find it on our website. But know that information is forthcoming, but it will be an option. They'll be set up in Orange City, in the main campground. So that's where you'll pick your bike up, and then we'll have them set up in Guttenberg, and that's where you'll deliver your bike at the end of the ride. And they'll take care of bringing it, disassembling it, and getting it back. So all you have to worry about is pick up and drop off.
Awesome. Well, this is a good one that just came in from Cynthia. Is there a full day gravel route this year?
Possibly. As you guys know, I love gravel. I don't love mandatory gravel, so keep that in mind. If we don't have to do it, we won't do it for you. But as of right now, we're looking at daily options. Northern Iowa has some pretty good gravel sections across the state, so we want to kind of give you a little taste each day. But based on what I've heard and what we've read in surveys, you still want a 1 day full gravel option. And we're looking at doing that too for you. So stay tuned. Once we know more, we'll share it with you, but definitely looking at daily options with the possibility of 1 full day of gravel.
All right. What resources are there for support drivers to get info, learn tips and tricks, etc.?
Yep. So I can take that one. We partner with Ride with GPS. It's the same app we use for the bicyclists. So when the time's right, which is going to be very, very soon, we'll get back in a room with the DOT and look at the roads that we need to put support vehicles on. This year, I'm going to build 2 routes. There will be a route that'll take you from overnight town to overnight town directly. So on those shorter days, if you do not need to pick up or drop off any riders, you can just book it onto the overnight town. On that 70-mile day, if you do need, there will be the option of support going to the meeting town. So you'll leave the overnight town, get to the meeting town, leave the meeting town, head into the overnight town if you need to drop off or pick up. The one thing we ask is you please follow the route. There are a lot of people that think they know better and they know the back ways to get in, and just know like some of those roads may be utilized for something else, or they're under construction, so they're closed. Gravel isn't always the best option to bring into town because towns have their back ways closed too, so they're not getting overwhelmed. But we will share that with you. That app can be used downloadable, so it's offline, so you don't have to worry about cell service being an issue, and that will give you turn-by-turn instructions to get you there. We will also produce maps you can actually print off, so you're the person that needs the map in your hand. We can definitely do that, but if you just follow the Ride with GPS, it'll bring you into the areas that we want you coming in on. And there's usually a check-in point when you come into the towns, usually by a uniformed officer helping direct you to where you need to go next. So please register your support vehicles so we know how many vehicles are coming, so we can work with towns to prepare them and use the app when you're coming across the state.
All right. And AP just dropped in the chat. There's also a RAGBRAI drivers Facebook group where you can connect with other drivers as well, or yeah, share with your driver so they can get the nitty gritty. This question, I think we are all excited about it because it's something near and dear to us. Is there coffee available in the morning in each town?
Well, I can tell you, because we just came off the road, that it's the number one thing Matt asked for at there was a.
Everyone,
But he asked of everyone, every overnight town, that there would be coffee, so.
Yeah.
They listen to Matt.
Yeah, and the reason I asked it was because I come to to that spot every morning with my coffee, and everybody in line offers to buy my coffee from me, so
That makes a lot
I
of
want
money.
to make sure that there's coffee available, so. Yeah, they were all kind of open to that idea. We tried to do it last year, it happened a couple times, some of our spots, but yeah, if we could have a coffee vendor at baggage, I think there's gonna be a lot of happy riders leading that overnight town.
As we get closer to the ride, the Just Go Bike podcast will publish our very popular Coffee Shops of RAGBRAI episode, where we feature as many of the coffee shops that are going to be along the RAGBRAI route as possible. So stay tuned for that. And if you look through the Q&A, I did post the link to the Just Go Bike podcast earlier, or you can Google us.
This is a great question because it is, rider safety. So during the ride, when should we prepare to be in a crowd with lots of riders? So you can know when and where to be able to get out of your pedals safely and navigate with, more people than you may be used to navigating with.
Yeah, there's gonna be crowds all day, going north brings people from all over, they like the north route. But yeah, I would plan on having crowds all day. You have riders that get up, right before the sun gets up to book it in and kind of try to beat the crowds. What I would recommend is if you are that person that wants to get ahead, please make sure you have lights on. Every year we see so many people riding in the dark with no lights, and it's just not safe. So if you are the one that just doesn't want to be around the big masses and you want to get out ahead of it, please do right by the ride and make sure you're lit up. But otherwise, our route opens at 6 a.m. You're gonna have riders rolling out, right after that. I would guess on those shorter days, you might sleep in just a little bit, but my challenge to you is to get up, get into the town so you can celebrate with those towns that are waiting for you. But just know that the majority of the people will be up between that 6 and 8 window. And I would guess over the course of the week, the majority of the towns that we leave, they're going to be ghost towns by 9 o'clock. So the people will be moving because you still have a shutdown time. And that first town usually shuts down around noon. So the majority of the riders need to be past that point by that time. So the answer is yes, you're going to be around a lot of people. Do right by the ride. I'm talking about riding right. So make sure you call out what's happening in front of you. And if you're pulling off, what you're going to be doing. Sometimes you can get lost in Iowa and you're looking to the left as you're looking at pigs and you don't know what's going on in front of you and someone stops. So you need to be aware of your surroundings and just make sure you're communicating very well.
All right. All right, this is one that I can answer. When will the details for the expo, assuming in Orange City the day before, be available? So we do have some details about the expo available now. It is the day before the ride and it'll be 12 to 9 p.m. Kind of kick off everything with all of our vendors. We'll have official RAGBRAI merchandise. The official bike shops will be there. Bike industry vendors, our beer partners. Everybody will be there. It's the biggest party going on that day. We'll also have live entertainment and then the opening ceremonies. More information about that will come out as we confirm our vendors and our sponsors and our partners who will be there with us. But you can plan on that being 12 to 9 the day before. That's July 19th. And it is in Orange City. So we hope that you'll come and kick off with us the day before starting to pedal. This was another good question. How do I volunteer for RAGBRAI?
Who wants that?
I'll take that one. Each of the overnight towns will coordinate their own volunteers, and so will the pass-through and meeting towns. Right now, since the towns are still sort of getting all their information together, we have a form on our website that you can enter your information into and whichever towns you're interested in volunteering with, and the towns will get a hold of you ASAP. So I'll post that link in the Q&A, or you can find it on ragbrai.com.
All right, I think we get this quite well. We have two of these, so we've gotten this question consistently between the two, but it is a good one because I know it's something that will affect a lot of people. Are there plans for how to charge e-bikes?
I would, yeah, I mean, e-bikes are a tough category, and what we recommend is if you have the ability to bring 2 batteries with you, please bring 2 batteries. If you're staying over with us in the main campgrounds, know there's not gonna be big power hookups. I think Corey and I can attest that we've seen some possible fires just waiting to happen because everybody's plugged into one outlet and it's just not safe. But I would definitely plan on trying to bring 2 batteries. Towns do have access as you're riding through to plug in and do things too. You just have to ask and we're trying to accommodate you. But there really isn't a solid plan to charge the amount of e-bike batteries that we do have. Plus, they just take so long to charge that it doesn't work. So my best recommendation is try to bring an extra battery. To be quite honest, make sure you train, get your legs super strong. So you leave that battery and that assist not as much as possible. So, but my only really kind of thought is just bring an extra battery and, it is a flatter route this year. So that will help, but yeah, it is kind of tough.
I'll go in on that vein as well. With some charters will offer charging stations as part of the package that you get with going with the charter. And then depending on what vendors we have at the expo day, some vendors from the last couple of years have a power back or a battery pack that they'll give you, and then you can exchange it at the meeting town every day. Depending if they'll be back this year, it's kind of a little too early to know, but those are both kind of reliable options if you know you need something to charge with midway through the day.
Yeah, good point, Erica. Erica, we'll just go back to you. When are wristbands distributed? Since I'm already registered, do I need to wait for the wristband before signing up with a charter? That's part 1. And then part 2 is I'm planning to take a few weeks to travel before the ride. We'll be able to pick up wristband at the expo.
Answer the first question the first part, registration closes on June 11th. We will start the wristband process as soon as registration closes on June 12th, and we'll start shipping wristbands out in mid-June to early July. It's our goal to have all wristbands shipped before 4th of July, which is on a Friday this year, I believe. If you're traveling and you selected that you wanted your wristband shipped to you, you can email us and we can change that to packet pickup or international/packet pickup and registration. Or you can go into Motive and do it yourself. If you're unsure which option you selected, you can go in and view your account. It'll be under that product tab on there. Any questions at all, of course, feel free to email us. You do not need to wait to receive your wristband number until signing up for a charter. Most charters will ask for a verification number of some sort. When you register, you'll get a confirmation number automatically emailed to you, as well as your receipt. That confirmation number can be used in lieu of your wristband number while you're waiting to get that, since those will not be assigned until June.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Bonita, give me just a second. Let's see here. All right, so you're probably gonna have to turn on your mic. I see your hand is raised. So if you can turn on your mic and ask us your question. There should be a button near the top of the screen that says mic for you, I think. Oh, we're still not able to hear you, unfortunately. If you can, we can send you an email message after this, and connect with you too and answer any questions you have. All right. So we'll be in touch and yeah, answer any questions. All right. Any other questions? Drop them in the Q&A. Otherwise, I'm gonna do a rapid fire for our team. All right, we're gonna get 2 questions today. First, we're gonna go all around the room. With only 163 days left until RAGBRAI, what is the top thing that you're doing to get ready for this year's ride? I guess who wants to start? AP, we're gonna start with you. You're the first one on my screen.
All right. To get ready for the ride, I am training. I'm riding my bike. Even though I don't ride during RAGBRAI, it's good to be in good physical condition during the ride. So this may be a flat route. This may be a quote unquote easy route, but headwinds are headwinds and you're going to need to train. The RAGBRAI training plan will come out tomorrow on February 7th. So keep your eyes peeled on the RAGBRAI website to download that training plan and get your buns and gear for RAGBRAI.
Awesome. Hayden, we're gonna throw it to you.
I am learning. I am getting with my first RAGBRAI experience, I'm getting everything squared away and getting my feet wet and excited to be meeting all the people I've already met and the people that I'm going to continue to meet and just really enjoy my first experience this year.
Excellent. So approaching everything with an open mind. That's a good attitude to take into any experience. And
Sleeping. We don't get to do a lot of that on the ride. And we travel a lot, so the more we can just take care of ourselves that way, the better.
all right, yep. Matt.
I think my best advice, after you've been training is to make sure that your bike is ready to come across the stage. We will have bike shops on route every single day, but it helps us when you bring a bike that has been tuned up, ready to go. And obviously bikes that make sense. So, old componentry that we can't get parts for is probably not the best option. Bikes that have full bars on the back that there's still beer everywhere on route. You need to bring the bar with you. Because I want you to get across the state. But yeah, my biggest thing is get your bike into a shop, get it tuned up so you bring the best bike to Iowa in July.
Yes, very important. All right, Erica.
I said this in the chat earlier, but preparing yourself for being on your bike for that length of time. So can you do that multiple days in a row? You'll stop and get off and on your bike a lot, but preparing yourself for that and training like everybody else said.
Corey.
I would say, seeing that I'm in charge of baggage, I would say I would start thinking about what you're going to pack. Start preparing. I know it's a long ways out, but there is a 50-pound limit on the bags if you're using our baggage service. So think about what you're going to pack. Pack your necessities, but make sure you have the right stuff along with you too. You can find some of those things in our in that PDF of the flight plan. But yeah, I would start preparing.
Oh, and now I have to come up with one because all of those hit some pretty big points. I'm a big fan of getting my rest ahead of time and yeah, making sure that you're prepared. I think, yeah, just reminders that, yeah, even though it's the middle of winter and it's hard to find that motivation and the route looks easy compared to last year as you're still out there day after day after day. It's a lot of fun, but it does add up. So not to scare anybody can do it. It's a great goal. If it's your first time, it'll be a lot of fun, but do look at that training plan and find some friends and buddies to keep you accountable regardless of whether they're doing RAGBRAI or not. Get your hype crew there to remind you to get on the trainer or show up and do your rides. Along with that too is figure out, work on your hydration. That's something that I'm really bad at. So just making sure that you're staying hydrated and training your body now. So even as you're doing your training rides, drinking and finding a good mix that keeps those electrolytes in, because it is summer in Iowa. So gotta be prepared. All right. I'm gonna use Emma's question as my last quick fire question, because it's actually, I think, a really fun one, and one of the things I found the most fun last year. So once again, we'll do briefly around the room. What fun traditions that first times might not know about? Theme days, fun outfits, trading trinkets. So each person, we're going to go through and tell me briefly your favorite fun tradition about RAGBRAI. So AP.
Oh, I get to go first. There's so many fun ones. So I'm going to pick one that is one of my favorites, and that is wearing a bike spoke bracelet. There's people along the route that make bracelets that are actually made out of the spokes of bicycles. And when you go around to different bike events, you can tell somebody who's ridden RAGBRAI because they're wearing one of those bracelets.
Awesome. Hayden, we'll get you up to speed. What is something that maybe you've heard about that you're really excited to witness on RAGBRAI this year?
I think one of the coolest things I've heard and learned over the last couple of weeks and months is the opportunity to stay in other people's houses that you might not know, and people opening their homes to complete strangers and being able to make those connections. And you hear so many times about people coming back, somebody that they stayed with on a route 5-10 years ago that they still look forward to coming back to Iowa and meeting. I think that's just a really unique experience, and really portrays the Iowa community that opens their arms to everyone that comes and does this route.
Awesome. That's a good one. Anne?
Pork chop, Miss Pork Chop. Make sure you get a pork chop along the route, and don't miss them because they'll be on route every day.
That is a tradition, no doubt about it. Matt?
50 states and 20 countries. So find someone from a different state every day and find someone from a different country every day. Try to have a conversation with someone that doesn't speak your language. It's pretty cool. But yeah, find something to do every day.
All right. Yeah. Erica?
The amount of stickers that people trade and pass out, and I'm looking at Hayden's laptop right now that he scored at the Bike Expo. Teams have their own stickers and they like to show their team pride, and just the amount of different stuff that they like to give other people they encounter. So yeah, it's a good way to start a conversation with somebody you don't know.
Yeah. Love it. Corey?
Well, mine both have been kind of stolen already, so I'm gonna piggyback on it, but I'm a foodie, so enjoy the food. I mean, there's so many things, but Mr. Pork Chop for sure. My go-to was PB Peddlers to get a peanut butter, bacon, and banana sandwich for my breakfast, and then Beekman's to wash it down with some ice cream. So yeah. Enjoy the food, and then like Matt said too, just spark up a conversation with people. That's the cool thing about the license plates on the back of the bikes. You get a heads up who the person is, where they're from. You never know who you're going to run into. You may run into that same person all week long. You may see them once, but by the end of the week, they may be your best friend. So.
Yeah, and it is funny with how many people are out on the ride, how you'll see the same people over and over and over again, because you kind of find a pace, you find your crew, and yeah, you do end up making friends out there. It is hard to choose just one. So I think I'll leave it a little broad, but it is all the different, I'd say, themes that teams and riders have. You don't have to be on a team to have, a theme or a costume or, fun helmet or something. It also makes it easy for you to find your friends or, be identified in the crowd. But there have been some really, really creative, really fun costumes and themes that we've seen out there, both individuals and teams. So that's something to think about if that's your style of riding and how you like to go out and have fun. All right. Well, once again, I mean, thank you everybody for joining us. We've got a couple of you that we'll follow up with offline, but this has been recorded. We will get it up on YouTube, and everybody should receive a copy of the recording that you can send out to your friends and family. Use it to positive peer pressure them into joining you, or sharing information about the ride, and getting ready for everything. So once again, thank you so much. Our next one will be a little different. We'll be on a Wednesday, March 5th, so just about a month. Keep an eye out on Facebook for that information, Facebook, email, and our website, and you'll be able to get registered, and we'll do this again. New questions, new focus, and keep sharing information and helping you all get ready for RAGBRAI 52. All right, thank you all. Have a good night.